Today we're going to be learning about junctional rhythms. Now when we're talking about junctional rhythms, we're talking about the AV junction, which is the AV node plus the bundle of His. We used to call these nodal rhythms because we used to think that the pacing capability actually was in the AV node itself. And then they found that the pacing cells were in that area where the AV node and the bundle of His actually connect together. So now they're referred to as junctional rhythms. Our junction has the ability to pace the heart either from irritability or as an escape mechanism. Now, in junctional rhythms, the impulse that originates from the junction is going to travel through the ventricles normally, but it will go in a retrograde fashion, a backwards fashion, to depolarize the atria. The impulse can reach the atria either before, after, or at the same time the impulse reaches the ventricles. So if we think about this, if we have an impulse that is actually starting right here in the AV junction area, and it's traveling backwards to depolarize the atria, and it's traveling forward to depolarize the ventricles, we are going to be losing that hold in the AV node. So normally when the sinus node fires, it depolarizes the atria, and then the AV node holds it for about 0.08 seconds. But now the impulse is coming from here and going in two directions, and we're going to lose that hold in the AV node. So what's going to happen is if we're in lead 2, if the impulse travels in a retrograde or backward fashion to depolarize the atria, and it gets through the atria before the impulse comes down the ventricles, we will see a P wave before the QRS, but the P wave is going to be inverted, and it's going to have a short PR interval. The conduction through the ventricles is going to be normal, so your QRS should be a normal size unless you happen to have an underlying bundle branch block to begin with. But if you're thinking about a short PR interval, normal is 0.12 to 0.20. So we're talking about having an inverted P wave here and a PR interval that is going to be less than 0.12. Now the other possibility is that the junction area that fires, it can fire in the middle of the junction, and it can go to the backwards through the atria, down the regular conduction pathways down the ventricle. But if it hits both of them at the same time, then what we're going to see is just the QRS. We won't see the P wave because the P wave is going to get buried in that QRS because our QRS is the largest muscle mass. Our ventricles are the bigger muscle mass. The other possibility with a junctional rhythm is the pacing cells can be lower here in the junction, go down here through the ventricles before it gets backwards through the atria. So we could have a QRS and then a P wave immediately following it. But a lot of times when you have that P wave after the QRS, it just sort of gets buried in that ST and T wave, and so you don't always see it. So really for a junctional rhythm, what you're usually going to see is an inverted P wave with a short PR interval or no P wave. So the first rhythm that we'll look at with a junctional rhythm is, let me see here why this isn't changing screens. So what we're showing here is an inverted P wave, and then it goes immediately into our QRS. Or here we have no P wave, and it goes into our QRS and then a T. And this one here, we have a QRS, and then we have an inverted P wave, and then a T. So any of those three possibilities are normal in a junctional rhythm. So the first junctional rhythm section that we're going to look at is premature junctional contractions. Now, premature beats can only come from three areas. They can come from the atria, they can come from the junction, or they can come from the ventricles. So we're going to be talking about the ones that are coming from the junction today. Now, these are the least common of the three. But in a premature junctional contraction, the PJC comes from an ectopic or an abnormal focus within the junction that fires before the normal sinus beat should have. PJCs are single beats. They are not an entire rhythm, so you still have to tell me the underlying rhythm. You still have to determine this is a sinus rhythm with a PJC or a sinus bradycardia with a PJC. PJCs are distinguished by their P wave. Again, as with any junctional rhythm we look at, if there's a P wave in front of the QRS, it will be inverted in lead 2 and have a short PR interval. There may be no P wave in front of the QRS, or there may be a P wave after the QRS. The QRS for PJCs will be normal, less than 0.12 because the conduction is normal through the ventricles. The junction is actually considered supraventricular in origin, above the ventricles, so it does come down the normal pathways of the ventricle, which should give us a normal QRS size. So if I look here at this example of a PJC, I notice that my spacing, so the first thing I always ask you is R to R regular. So my spacing between this beat here and this one, then this one and this one are all normal, and then this one here came early. It is premature. Then I go back to a normal spacing. My rate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a rate of 60. So I look at my normal beats. My normal beats, I have a P wave, and it looks like a nice normal rounded sinus P wave. It looks like my PR intervals and my QRS and QT intervals look normal. And right here in this 3-second section, it's a rate of 60. So it looks like I'm a sinus rhythm at 60. Now I have this beat that came early. It's premature. It has a P wave in front of it, but it's inverted. Now, we can't forget that when we were looking at PACs, a lot of times we saw inverted P waves as well. But here we're going to have an inverted P wave with a short PR interval, a PR interval that is less than a full 3 boxes. The QRS should still look normal. It should still go through the ventricles normally, and our QT shouldn't change. But the other thing that we frequently see with premature beats is we have a slight time lag. Now, you don't always have that. It's not an absolute rule, but you frequently have a slight pause or slight time lag after the PAC or the premature beat, and the SA node waits from where it should have fired to fire again. Now, on this particular example, it's telling you that you don't have a full compensatory pause, so the SA node just waited from here and then went ahead and fired to here. But sometimes you will see that time lag after the premature beat. So I would document this one, this first one here, sinus rhythm at 60 with 1 PJC. Now here in this example here, again, I look at regular. It's R to R to R to R to R looks regular, and then this beat here comes early, it's premature. Then it goes back to a regular spacing. My rate here looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so a rate of 100. And I'm going to look at what I have without that premature beat. So here I have a regular rhythm, a normal rounded sinus P wave, a normal PR interval that looks like it is 1, 2, 3, a little over 3 boxes. QRS size looks normal. T wave looks a little flat, but it's still considered a sinus rhythm at 100. Now I have this P wave that comes in, or this QRS that comes in. It's early, my cycle, it's early. No P wave in front of it. QRS is the same configuration, so it would be a premature junctional contraction. Now, PJCs are usually early. It's something that we generally see early in the cycle because of irritability. But you can also have what we call a junctional escape beat, where that PJC, instead of it being premature, it's actually coming late. The SA node didn't fire for a period, and so it kicked in to try to help give you more. So here it looks like from R to R, I can see that it's extended here. It's actually longer than usual instead of early, and then it goes back to its normal spacing. My regular beats look like they're regular. They have a sinus P wave. PR interval looks a little long here. QRS looks like it's a normal size. And then it looks like I started to have a sinus pause. Well, what happens is your junction can kick in and say, hey, I'm not getting enough from the sinus node. My rate's gone too slow. So it starts to kick in as a backup system to help. And then the sinus node kicked back in on its own. So here, this beat here, it's not premature. It's actually late in the cycle, but it's still junctional in origin. There's no P wave in front of it. QRS remains normal. It's actually delayed. And this isn't, we shouldn't look at this due to irritability. This is actually trying to help the heart. It sees that the heart rate is too slow and it kicks in as a backup system. Had the person not gone back into their sinus rhythm, this person would have just gone into a junctional rhythm at this point. Here's another example of that. I have a regular spaced rhythm. I have a sinus P wave for each of them. PR interval looks okay. QRS looks okay. It looks like it's a sinus in origin. And then it looks like I have this pause, this time lag here. And so what happens here is the junction kicks in saying, okay, the sinus node's not firing. I need to kick in as a backup system. So PJCs, if they're due to irritability, they come early in the cycle. If they're there as a backup system, they're going to come later in the cycle. So this one here, there's no P wave in front of it. QRS remains normal. And then again, the SA node tended to kick back in on its own. So this is here to try to help. So why do we see PJCs? Excessive caffeine, tobacco or alcohol use, valve disease, heart failure, digitoxicity, heart attack patients, hypoxia, and sometimes electrolyte imbalances like potassium and magnesium. They usually produce little to no symptoms, and sometimes the patients may complain of, oh, it feels like I skipped a beat, or it feels like I had an extra beat, but usually most people don't even realize they're having them. It really very rarely will decrease the cardiac output. If they're kicking in because the SA node has failed to fire, the person may have a decrease in cardiac output, like when they have a sinus pause. They may feel dizzy, lightheaded, a slight drop in blood pressure. But usually if it just picks right back up and goes back into a sinus rhythm, we don't usually treat these. If possible, we try to find and treat the cause. And that's going to conclude our section on premature junctional contractions.